Hi and welcome to this week's episode of Ref Lounge. Well, it's been a really eventful weekend with lots and lots of different decisions to look at, and we're going to kick it straight off because there's so much that we need to go for. We're going to go straight for the Arsenal-Manchester City game, and this was Paul Tierney. Keith, how did you think he did?
I thought he did terrific. I mean, this is a referee that's in form. He seems to have hit a different level this season, and I think a lot of it is down to his actual physical movement, his reading of the game, he's got presence, he's confident. And I think that once he knows that his boss is confident in him, it sort of runs through and it comes out in his performances.
Yeah, because I saw this is just only one incident. He did it several times where he cuts not just into the box, but such as this is the goal on here, he's side on view, he's battling to get that angle every single time.
I think this has been a weakness in the PGMOL over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and I think that what we're seeing this season, and certainly in recent weeks, we're seeing now a more dynamic movement of certain referees, not all, and they're getting the width. Now, I know that's old-fashioned, but in reality, they're getting the width that's required in the game to make better decisions.
Brilliant. So we'll move on from that one, because that was a really good game. Now we're going to actually hit on the Newcastle and Burnley game. Now, there was a number of different things on here that we wanted to actually hit on. So the first thing I'm going to do is just look very briefly at this particular handball. There was lots of shouts to say it was a handball. He's fully on the deck there. I haven't done the picture well enough, but he's completely on the deck. He's going in, he's natural, his momentum's there. And I'm happy that wasn't. I think Tim Robinson's spot on there. Yeah, and so was VAR.
Yeah, I agree with that. No problem.
Okie dokie. I'm not going to come to the goal yet. I'm going to go for the red card, Andy Carroll. Red or yellow for you?
Oh, red. Red every day. I mean, I'm somewhat bemused by that. I think the referee's got quite a good view on it. He may have ducked it, and then he's relying on VAR, and now VAR can't see that as a serious and obvious error and not come in and say that's a red card. I think everybody in the game would expect that.
And I didn't. I actually noticed, if you actually look there, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but he's partly clenched.
Correct.
Now, you and I have spoke about body language, and you taught me this, which was the fact that if it's an open, palm, whatever, it's more natural, but if you've got your hand in, then it's unnatural.
And the other side of that, and that is important, that clenched fist.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, don't be conned as referees to thinking that because the player's not looking at his opponent, he's not going to do what he's done here. He's deliberately used the elbow, a forearm. It's a forearm smash in any sport, other than wrestling, I suppose. It's unacceptable.
It's a red card. There were claims for a foul by Steve Bruce, who's had his excuses ready for Tim Robinson before the game even kicked off. He was ready for it, and he says there's a foul beforehand.
No.
Right? Zero.
Absolutely not. I mean, Robinson, in fairness, is in a good position. And what he'll learn to do, because, this is high tension for him. It's his first game. It's a big occasion. And he's suddenly pointed for a goal kick. Got it wrong. And then he's had to rectify. I guess that somebody's whispered in his ear.
It's Gary Beswick.
And, of course, there's not a foul. The ball has gone out for a corner. So I'm sorry, Steve Bruce. You got this one 100% wrong. The referee was correct. The referee, unfortunately, with that signal, sold it very poorly.
He did, and it was that. And the thing is Gary Beswick on there. He's been around a few years. He's got the guts to overrule the referee and say, actually, you've got that one wrong. And I think we need a little bit more of those.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But Steve Bruce could have had a claim when that's where the ball is.
Oh, I think
for the goal.
This is really becoming a nonsense. The laws of the game, Law 17. Quite clear, the ball has to be in the quadrant. It has to be in the quadrant. That's not in the quadrant. And we're seeing it regularly. And I mean, I get lots of tweets from people saying, why is this being allowed? And we're saying, well, if it's touching the quadrant, it's okay. No, the law is specific. It's got to be inside. So, for me, this is an assistant referee not doing his job.
Yeah, on that particular one there. But just in a little bit of defence of Tim Robinson, and the fact that Steve Bruce decided to have a pop. Shots on goal, 0. That's why you lost.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that? That's why you lost. Leave the new referees alone and at least get a shot on target.
I'm sure Tim Robinson will be a better referee when he gets more games under his belt.
Brilliant. Okay, so this particular game, Chelsea-Bournemouth, there was one big incident in the game.
Yes.
It was the goal.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't an incident because that flag should never have gone up. On Twitter, I've seen Twitter this weekend, and there was a lot that people were saying, Garth Crooks on BBC Sport, he was talking about the fact that they all stopped because the flag went up. I don't think this was a case of keeping your flag down. I think he's made an error.
I've no doubts he's made an error. But in reality, what we're saying is, why are we operating differently in England than in Europe? Because in Europe now, what's been said is, keep the flag down to allow the play to continue, ball goes in, now we can look at whether it's offside or whether it's a goal or not a goal. So for me, this was an error.
On here, because unfortunately this is Derek Eaton,
I know,
who did the Sheffield United one.
I know.
Now I don't think he was wrong at Sheffield United, but by that what I mean is he was following protocol set out by the PGMOL to stick your flag up if you think that they're offside, but everybody plays on and then you come back if you can. That's the wording, which is what you've just said is wrong and needs to change. I think he's put the flag up for him running out.
I think this is
not for him, for Gosling, who does a beautiful check and is clearly onside. I think he loses his man.
Look, running the line at the Premier League level is a massive test for anyone. And we've got some outstanding assistant referees. I generally felt that if you've made such a controversial error like last week, where he got it wrong,
Newcastle,
I think this week he could have sat on his hands, not been given a game, in order to recover. Because I suspect here he's got last week's game on his mind, pressure. And when players are under pressure, referees are under pressure, then that's when errors come. And that's an error. And
that's that. So that's on that one. So we're going to move on nicely to Leicester Norwich, which was refereed by Andrew Madley, one of the newer referees, up and coming. And I'm going to start straight away. We've just mentioned it. The quadrant.
Well, there it is. The pictures don't lie. That's not in the quadrant, and that's an error. I blame his assistant referee.
Yeah, because on the other one, on the Burnley game, the assistant's on the other side.
Correct.
So that was more for the referee to come over, have a quick check and go back.
In that
but this is the assistant's here. The assistant is here. It's got to be sorted.
It has to be sorted. The law's not been applied.
Yeah. Okay. Right, now we're going to actually look at the incident that actually happened in that game. So I've done a still of the foul. Cantwell and Iniacho on here. In fact, it's Pookie, isn't it? It's Pookie and Iniacho. Is on here that as a still and in slow motion, that's a red.
This is the danger. If you start looking at incidents of this nature, slow-mo, the challenge looks a lot worse. Played at normal speed, two players are going for the ball, they're both a bit high, I'd granted, and for me,
they kick each
other.
It's football. It is, and they do. They hit each other and they carry on, and that's the thing of the slow-mo, is the fact that that's why Howard in the MLS, Howard Webb, he's instigated that it is now half speed or higher. He doesn't do slow-mo anymore, and that's learning.
Howard's slightly ahead of the English game at the moment, isn't he?
He is.
With regard to VAR and how it should operate.
So we had that, but that came from this, which is where the ball was kicked out by Norwich, and Iniacho just played on, and you've got his own player who just throws it back nonchalantly as if to say, give it back. He then decides to play on. We've got Andy Madley actually signalling to play it back. The laws were changed last year to say that as a referee you can't do that.
Absolutely can't do that.
You know, on there, which led to this.
Yeah.
Okay, which then led to this. Now, the big question on here is, as you can see, Cantwell there is pinning down Iniacho on the ground. Okay, he gets a yellow card after the VAR. Now, I would imagine the caution is for adopting an aggressive attitude.
Yeah, sure.
On there. Would you have gone red, or would you say it was handbags and let's get on with the game?
I think a bit of handbags, to be honest. But in reality here, what we've got is we've got some sloppy refereeing. Andrew Madley, and I've been saying, look, give him more games, and he needs more games. But I'll tell you what, if this guy doesn't realise that his movement profile is not adequate enough, his momentum, if you like, his work rate, disappointed me. And this was symptomatic of his performance. He was slow in getting, if you like, the player who was injured to stop play.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Don't have an issue with that. But then he's got to be alert. For the restart, be alert, pick it up. And he saw what happened. And I think he could have managed that.
Yeah.
He could have found a foul throw. He could have found something that says, I'm not having
going to
it.
bring it back. So,
Correct.
I
But
mean,
he certainly can't dictate to the
on that
player
one. But
what he does.
I do think, prior, as that happened, though, if you actually see him, if anybody watches it back and sees it in line, he comes round really left and he does come quick and he's reacting, he's looking in, he's not going in, pulling out, his assistant comes in, closes down the space. So on that management of what's happening is really good. He's then got VAR to help him, and I personally think he came to the right conclusion to
Yes,
say
so do I.
yellow card. So.
But you know, prevention is better than a cure. So if your cognitive skills are at the fore,
Yeah.
then, and you understand the temperature, by that action of a throw-in,
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's got an explosion. And that's where mass confrontation comes about.
Really?
Hopefully he's put that in his report, and therefore the authorities might just look at whether both clubs could be charged for failing to control the players.
Yeah, and I think, me personally, I think Andy needs more games to get used to it and everything else. He's not going to develop if he's having one game here and one game on a different
it's
league
just not,
or
it's
anything
unfair.
like that.
It's
It is
unfair.
So, we'll leave it at that, the end of part one. Please join us shortly for part two. Thank you.
Thanks.